Hey everybody, I want to talk to y'all today a little bit about hydration too. I'm going to try to make this brief. I've got to go home and get ready. I got to go on storm. So I'm trying to make a few videos today because I probably won't get the opportunity while I'm on the road. Well, I know I won't. Well, I've heard a lot of myths and rumors about hydration. You think, well, that's a pretty simple thing. How can people not know how to stay hydrated? You'd be surprised. One myth is the gallon a day myth. Oh, that's all I've heard. You got to drink a gallon a day, gallon a day, gallon a day. Well, I'm 245 pounds, all right? I know plenty of guys that are 285, 300. I know plenty of women that are 100 pounds, 115 pounds. Are you telling me a gallon a day is going to suffice for every one of us? That doesn't even make sense. You know, I'm twice the size of this lady over here, but a gallon a day is going to do the same thing for both of us? That's not right. The whole half an ounce per body weight, per pound of body weight. I've heard that. That's only if you're not active. If you're active, you need an ounce of water per pound of body weight. But if you're really active, well, you need 1.5 ounces. But if you're super duper uber active, you need 2 ounces per pound of body weight. You know what that tells me? That tells me that all that crap don't mean a thing. It just means drink when necessary. Hydrate as needed. That's all that means. You can church it up all you want to and just keep adding ounces and ounces as you need it. But all it says is drink as needed, hydrate as needed. That's ridiculous. You know, in 2002, researchers got together to try to find the origin of all these adages and myths and rules of thumb, or whatever you want to call them, about hydration. They couldn't. There weren't really any substantial studies about it. They couldn't find any. And there's another myth out there. Coffee. Oh, coffee will dehydrate you. Caffeine, la 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 la. That's a myth. They've already disproved that. Look it up if you don't believe me. Yes, caffeine is a diuretic. It'll make you pee. But let's say you drink an 8-ounce cup of coffee. The amount of caffeine that's in that 8-ounce cup of coffee will cause you to urinate. But you're not going to urinate as much as the amount of fluid that you took in while you were consuming that caffeine. You get it? You're still coming out on the good side of hydration, even when you drink coffee. Because the amount of urine that you're excreting from the diuretic of caffeine, is not enough to even hardly affect your hydration if you're anywhere close to a normal, healthy level of hydration. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're just like bone dry and ashy, you can probably do a whole lot better than to drink diuretics. But if you're just on a normal, healthy level, you'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. It won't even affect you. All right? You say, well, how do you know all this? Well, first off, it's on Google. You can look up studies on it. You know what I mean? I know you can't believe everything on the internet, but good Lord, you can decipher with common sense of what seems to be reasonable and reliable. But another thing is, I am a safety specialist for a power line company. All right, I've been in the power line industry for 17 years. I built more power lines than you drove beside. I was in the tree industry before that. I sit through, I can't tell you how many classes on the subject, and I've taught, I can't tell you how many classes on the subject. The best way to know if you're hydrated enough is if you're thirsty. Believe it or not, it's worked since the beginning of time. It will keep you hydrated enough. I promise you, you're not going to be out there working on a pole, hanging off a set of hooks for 2 or 3 hours in the baking Alabama sun and not get thirsty. It will tell you when you need to drink. Okay? It's worked. Like I said, we would not have survived as a species had the phenomenon of thirst not worked. You got it? You know? People just be walking around dying because, well, they never got thirsty, or thirst didn't mean anything. Trust me, it'll get the job done. Another thing, the color of your urine. It's an excellent indicator of how hydrated you are. Okay, so you got 2 things working for you there. You'll get thirsty, and the color of your urine, if you got any questions about it. Now, everybody knows what I'm talking about. If your urine's clear, clean, You know, might be a little hazy, but that'll be fine. You're in the good, all right? But you know, if you get out there and you start pushing it and working and sweating and the color of your urine can change pretty quickly, because you can drop a lot of fluid in a very little amount of time. But I promise you, you're going to get super thirsty in the meantime. And another good thing to do, hydrate yourself the night before. I have never worked my butt off all day long and came in and ever hardly stopped being thirsty pretty much until I went to bed. My body was pretty much telling me the entire time I got home in the evening to the time I went to bed, hey, you might want to drink 3 or 4 glasses of water before you go on to bed. Hydrate yourself the day before. Listen to your body, okay? They've done quite a bit of studies that will tell you that thirst is all the indicator you need. There you go. The study that everybody talks about, I want to touch back on that coffee deal, on the caffeine and stuff being a diuretic. All that stuff was based on a study back in like 1928. Only had 3 people in the whole study. You know what I mean? That's about how good that was. So, all this stuff, don't believe me. How about that? Don't believe me. Look it up for yourself. But be practical about it. You know, if you're 100 pounds and you're walking around with a gallon jug of water in the gym, and you see somebody that's 250 pounds walking around with a gallon of water in the gym, you know, it's going to kill you to try to drink that much. Don't put yourself through that kind of misery. Again, I can't tell you how many people I've seen actually vomit doing a squat or a deadlift because they thought, well, I got to drink all this water. I ain't thirsty, but that's what they tell me to do. I can't tell you how many people I've seen throw up on the field out there playing ball because people were cramming water down these kids' throats. You're going to be fine. Listen to your thirst and pay attention to the color of your urine, and you're going to be all right. It's not rocket science. It's one of my favorite sayings, but it's true. There you go.